Hello everyone, this is Mini Ninja speaking. For today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Demoniacal Fit Martialist Forever figure, which, as you can kind of guess from what's in front of you, is an unofficial take on a base Son Goku, I'm going to say late era Z, but making use of more modern technologies by Tamashii Nations and Bandai, aka their 3.0 body mold, with a few alterations of course. As we take a quick look at the overall clamshell here, and just to show you what the contents of the box are, you can see this is definitely a little more than a budget Goku release, with quite a few different sets of hands to come on, a lot of facial plates, as well as a bonus stand that's pretty much Goku themed to go along with the whole package. Now, in terms of the general height of the figure, it stands at about 6¼ inches tall, which is roughly on par with what the rest of the line looks like, so it doesn't stand out as anything particularly odd. Now, going into the articulation chest here, I'll kind of verbalize my experience when playing around with this toy right out of the box. A little pointy on the hair, I would mention, but generally, for lack of a better term, forgive the pun, it's a very sharp sculpt for the most part. Very nice detailing, the folds and everything look quite convincing, and everything, frankly, looks the part of what you might expect for a little more of a modernized 3.0 figure version of Goku. Articulation is also very much matching with what you would expect out of a 3.0 figure, with quite some nice range on the butterfly joints both backwards and forwards, some nice sturdy robust joints for things like the knees, the elbows in particular, as well as the legs, hip area. And overall, while the 3.0 style of articulation does have some limitations, namely around the legs' ability to kick or move backwards, well, this figure does also reflect that, but still holds a lot of the strengths of it too, although its ab crunch, due to the way the upper torso is designed, is a little lacking. We'll do a proper comparison with that later on in the video, by the way. What I will mention about this particular toy, though, is, getting it out of the box for the first time there, the joints are quite stiff, which is a good thing because this figure is actually really good at holding its various poses, at least if you're not trying to reach too far back, but is also kind of a slight mixed bag because the joints are also very tight in some spots. It's a little more selective in terms of that. I would say, namely, the neck joint in mine was particularly tight, especially on the upper hair. You would be able to hear the loud squeaking of excessively tight plastic in this case. And I'd say the knees, a light bit of a tight fit, especially that right one on there, which actually pops out a bit if you try to get a full bend, but still can be pushed back inside in order to fold it back up without too much hassle. What I will say, though, is unlike the official 3.0 Gohan that I happen to have here, at least thankfully the ankles on this particular toy are much nicer. On top of having a lot of range around the ankle joint, it is still tight enough to it'll be able to hold its pose without too much issue, which is good because at least the 3.0 Gohan I happen to have here will fall over on a given moment's notice if you pose it just in an incorrect way. If it's slight angle, the damn thing will fall over. But Martialist Forever here holds up perfectly fine with most of the poses I've been able to do for it, as long as I don't purposely put it on something that's like a weird angle. What I will mention, though, as just a general aside, though, you might, on your version of the figure, it's not present here, but it is worth noting that on Demoniacal Fit's own socials, there might be some issues where the shoulder joints around the butterfly joints are slightly popped out compared to where they should be. It can be fixed, but it is worth noting it is a thing. Now, moving on to the accessories here, quick view of the various hands that are off the figure in that case. Here you got your open palm, your martial arts hands, forgive me for the lighting being a little harsh on this one, kind of your grabbing hands and sorts, as well as, surprisingly enough, multiple instant transmission hands as well as a thumbs up. Everything has really nice sharp detailing on it, even down to the fingernails, and generally looks to be in good shape, well casted, not too much flash. Facial expressions, a more happy expression, smirking, yelling, and a grimacing face. Everything's very clean on there. And of course a neutral face on here. Everything a very neat, clean setup. Everything is cleanly cut, so there's no excess fringe or anything that keeps things from fitting incorrectly. And in terms of switching the faces and the hands on there, everything comes off surprisingly well. The bangs on there you can see slightly flexible, so they fit in and out very well, and the faces plug in without any issue. And in terms of the hands, although it's kind of hard to do it on camera as you might be guessing here, they pop in and out without too much hassle. It doesn't feel like you're putting any excess strain on the joint. That being said, this particular figure, at least my copy, is not free of defects, however, as we can see that neck peg is more than a little beat up. I don't usually move the neck around too much just because I don't want to risk that thing breaking. Now, for more side-to-side comparisons, the figure on the right there is a bit of an older version of the Saiyan Rays on Earth figure, namely one that has the facial expressions properly on there, so quite some years back. And as you can see from the general build, there is a different difference on how they treat kind of muscle definition and overall technical build between here and there. Much bulkier joints on the new figure, but that's also because it's newer technology to work off of. But as we also take a look at the event exclusive Super Saiyan 2 Goku here, you can definitely tell there's also a difference in terms of how they handle general color. Namely, the Demoniacal Fit one is much darker and kind of muddier, less saturated in terms of colors in general. Now, whether that's an issue is up to personal preference, but it is worth noting that it is absolutely a thing. At least what I will say on the bright side, the articulation kind of makes up for any kind of issue there. Now, for a more proper side-to-side, 3.0 versus 3.0. That is actually the Ultimate Gohan superhero figure on the right there. And just doing a quick comparison to how the butterfly joints work on here, just to show that indeed the recreated version does match up for the most part. You can kind of see that this will get quite a bit more range than what you'll be able to get off of 2.0. Normally those ones would not be able to reach around or cross the arms quite as well as they are able to here. However, when we do the quick test with the Demoniacal Fit figure, you're going to see I can do the same thing there, give or take, with much less effort. It doesn't feel like I'm straining the joints a bit there. That being said, like I said earlier, the upper torso articulation, because of the sculpt, is slightly more limited. But all in all, hit most of the marks. In fact, that's what I can generally say about this figure. Hit most of the marks of what you would expect for a good entry-level 3.0 Goku figure. I will even go as far as to say that I might actually have to pick up a second copy of this figure in order to use it for various head swaps and stuff down the line. And I almost never get to say anything like that on this particular channel. Well folks, I think I've said my piece on there, so hopefully you've enjoyed that and gotten something useful out of that, and we'll be in touch another time. For now, take care. Oh, don't worry if you think I'm enjoying myself too much on this one. We're gonna go right back knee-deep in garbage with a few bootleg breakdowns in the near future, which includes the A Warrior Awakening event-exclusive version of Goku, this thing that's supposed to be Gohan Black, and a few other things that are not on camera right now. So yeah, we'll be talking again soon, folks. See ya for real now.